Cool. Firstly, I think I'm a really like a relaxed person, so I'm gonna try to just communicate and share what I've been working on. So if I'm not talking so loud, just let me know. So I have a problem in my ears. Sometimes I think I'm being so loud, but maybe it's not. So
What?
yeah. So well, basically, I'm really interested into the human part of when we design interfaces. I really like to think that we need to really focus on this and put it on the center on our new interfaces we are creating. We need to put human always in front of everything. And yeah, I mean, for example, so I don't know if you know that this was the first like voice interface we had on 1911. So it was a little toy, it was a clock, where you call the, well, his name was Rex, so you just say Rex, and the dog was popping out and just making a noise. So it was like a resonance things, just detecting the Rex word, like around 500 hertz. So, but it's kind of crazy to think that in 1911, people were already thinking about this kind of stuff. So basically, I mean, we've been working on this several through the time. We use all voice systems to receive information, and yeah, so we try and explore different kind of interfaces, graphical interfaces. We now explore how to interact with them by using something more natural like voice. And nowadays, I'm really happy to see like many new devices, many new interfaces are on people's hands. We have Alexa, we have Google, we have many of all these companies creating products that people can reach them. And I'm really happy in the way that in order to make things change, to develop changes, you need to put these tools in people's hands, and then they're gonna do crazy stuff. So I'm really happy in that way. This is an example. I mean, this is like a kind of contrast, right? We started developing toys, and we're still working on that. And it's kind of crazy the things that this Barbie can do. So I imagine this toy, I mean, it's going to be connected to cloud, so how many things can trigger, how many access to many services you can have through these kind of interfaces. So basically, I mean, we are in a really kind of nice endpoint, well, not endpoint, in a nice point where we are exploring different ways to interact with interfaces, but still I see some problems, which is not really taking in consideration the emotional aspects. We as humans, we create relationships with everything we touch, with everything surrounding us. So for me, that's a problem. So we are lacking on context awareness. We don't really are putting attention in where people are using these interfaces. I'm sitting at home, chilling on my sofa, I'm in the kitchen, cooking. Maybe I don't like cooking, I'm so stressed, but I'm interacting with Alexa. Maybe I really love cooking and I'm so happy, and Alexa is annoying me. So we need to really put attention in the context around the contextual information, but also the internal, how I'm feeling nowadays. So yeah, one of the things we need to consider is we as humans, we build empathy with objects, with people. So if I'm talking with someone who is not really putting me attention, so I don't feel like a much a connection, so maybe it's not going to end up to something good. I'm going to stop talking to this person. I'm going to look for someone who put attention or kind of understand me. If I arrive to a meeting and I'm having to have really like a bad day, so I'm really expecting that someone is able to understand I'm really not feeling that good, but you are communicating with me and you are making a connection. You are being empathetic with me. So as I say, so we are not really focusing on building relationships. So we have machines on one side, we have users on one side, and it seems like they talk different languages. So we need to, I see this as a problem. We are not enabling user-machines relationships. So yeah, I'm not going to explain all this, but I just want to highlight, this is like the speech-language technology we have nowadays, how from talking to something, understanding what the person is talking to manage a dialogue. We have a part called recognition. So we are able to detect all different kind of words, the acoustic model, and identify the grammar, identify the words. So why not to add on top of this the emotion recognition? If we have all these parameters, we can just we can work with these parameters and identify in which situation the user is at that time. So how we are going to do this? I'm at the moment exploring just like 3 aspects. Detecting voice emotion recognition, so analyzing the semantics, analyzing the words, and face recognition. So today I'm going to talk just about the first 2. For example, in voice emotion recognition, it's really well known, and a lot of research has been done on this topic. Like you have identified already some parameters where you can understand, like if a person is in a fear mood, is in anger, is having like a sadness, or a happiness, or disgust moment. So we see all the changes on all the acoustic parameters like speech, pitch, voice quality, articulation. So if we come back to the slide before, so basically we can gather all that information through the acoustic model. So we can analyze the acoustic, like the signal, and we can understand, kind of classify it and know in which situation the user is. So the second aspect is like the grammars. We can easily, for example, define which words are more connected with a negative thought, which kind of words are more giving a neutral meaning, and which kind of words are more associated with something positive, something happiness. So as well, in this field, many research has been done, so we can kind of correlate these semantics and analytics with the voice analysis. So basically the hypothesis I have here is like, if we enable these interfaces to understand emotional context, we are going to be able to have better interactions with these devices. We are going to be able to build relationships. We are going to be able to talk to a machine that we know is really understanding me. Sorry. Oh. So nowadays we have a system being linear, while the user is being from sad mood, happiness, neutral mood. So, all these curve ups and downs, we are like this, and every time we change we go through these all transitions through the day, and even within a 30 minutes frame. So, but the system is still flat. So he doesn't care how we are feeling, how we are feeling, how we are reacting to events, external events, or something we are thinking about that make us go in a sad situation. So this is what we have nowadays, and my hypothesis, like, we can change this, and we can design interfaces that adapts to our journey, to our emotional journey. So through this hypothesis, what I'm trying to do is to kind of identify all the emotional recognitions. We can classify them like high arousal, low arousal, positive and negative, and based on this, change the way the voice interface talk to the user. So basically, what I want to provoke is this: if a user is feeling sad, the system shouldn't be sad as well. The system shouldn't be flat. The system should be a system supporting the user and talking to this person in a way that you help him or her coming up, so to a more positive experience. So the idea is to trigger these downs moments we have, and the system can help the user to be in a more positive experience and situation. So that's more or less what I want to create. I want to create like a context-aware design for voice interfaces. This is an example. This is a use case for cars. for example, if we are able to understand that a user is tired and the user wants to find a route to go from his home to his working place, then the system is going to understand that the user is tired, and the system is going to be active and is going to help him to find what he's looking for. If I know that the user is tired, then the user wants to make a call, so I'm going to help the user to make a call. I'm gonna give him this feeling like, hey, I'm here to support you, don't worry. So after the call, the user gets annoyed because of the information he gets. So the user jumps into an annoyed mood. So then the system understands this, the system detects this, and as well, it's gonna help him to perform the next action, which is like a send a message. So the user goes into a stress mood and he's getting an income call. So then he's not able to handle this situation. Then the system is going to be there to support him and say, hey, no worries, I can cancel this call. I can send a message saying like, hey, you are driving, you are focusing on this, so you cannot just chill out. So if I understand that the user is stressed, I can also be more proactive and I can trigger actions, like I can suggest to play some music, I can suggest to do something about it. But the idea here is we need to design systems that really understand the user and help them in every situation they are going through. This is like a journey for 30 minutes, and we go like this. So imagine you driving in the morning, in 30 minutes you can just become crazy. So basically that's the idea, and what I try to do is create better user-machine relationships. If we, for example, if we are talking to a person who understands to us, kind of make an empathy connection, so we build a relationship with this person. We want to keep talking with this person, is really active listening. That's going to be the same in interfaces. I envision systems really supporting us, really being there and understanding all the crazy journeys we are going every day. So one of the design recommendations I want to give to you is like, we know that we have technology that is not perfect, but if we acknowledge that, we leverage this technology and we design around these weaknesses. So we know that this system cannot, is not a human, so we know that it's limited, has limited information, limited connections to other services. So me as a designer, I use that to design for this barrier and focus on a specific use case, as you mentioned in the presentation. So yeah, and well, another recommendation is like, we really need to take in consideration the context. We really need to think about where the user is going to use this interface, in which situation, and how is going to be this interaction between the system and the user. How the system needs to adapt to the person, be more proactive, be more passive. When they are talking with a third person, for example, you don't want to have an annoying interface who is talking to you and you cannot shut it off. So we need to remember that the voice design principles. Voice is there to help us, to support us, to kind of overcome challenging situations like reducing the cognitive load. We don't want to use voice in a situation where voice itself is going to make the user feel more stressed, because they are not going to be able, the voice is giving the user most information, and they're going to get stuck and they're going to get stressed. So yeah, we need to minimize this cognitive load. This is one of the principles of using voice. We need to think about the expectations the user has when you are designing for voice. We sometimes make them think that this interface is like a person, which is not, so they expect a machine replying as a person, and it's still a machine. So we need to accommodate these expectations when we are designing for voice. So we need to make more clear and efficient the information we are accessing through voice. And at the end, of course, we want to ensure that we are becoming more accurate. So what is next with this experiment or this topic I'm working on? So at the moment it's an hypothesis. I have designed an experiment. I want to test this hypothesis. I want to test how people react to these acoustic changes. I want to evaluate this, and I want to really see if this hypothesis that making the system change the sound output based on the emotional context is really giving them something positive. So that's the next step in this topic I'm working on. So I want to find a specific use case where I can define tasks, and I want to measure how efficient and how much the user complete the task, like the success rates. And of course, I want to measure the experience in this specific context. So at the moment I'm working on, I'm getting some support from academic part, from TU, but I want to kind of go further with this, and I envision deliver this to everybody working on voice interfaces, that they can connect with this and they can customize how the interfaces react to the user. I would like to see giving this a model algorithm, and they can connect to it, and they can just customize the output. So yeah, if someone of you knows a place where I can connect with other people interested in this emotion recognition for voice interfaces, or if someone of you is interested, I'm looking like someone with expertise in artificial intelligence, NLP, someone with linguistics, or more like a content and copywriter. So yeah, just feel free to talk to me. So yeah, basically that's the topic I'm working on. I'm really enthusiastic about it, and I really want to see more interfaces that really talk to